everyone, welcome back to the Saint Cyril channel. I stumbled across a study. It was very interesting, and there's a lot of correlations from the study that you can easily see in society. And we're going to go right into it. I'm going to tell you the study, and I hope you guys can see the correlations that I'm talking about, and obviously learn as much as you can from what I'm about to tell you. So, this study will kind of point out a reason why society is going downhill. It's going to be going into societal dynamics. So, there was a study done throughout the 1960s and 70s, done by a man by the name of John B. Calhoun. And this study was called Mouse Utopia, just in case you guys want to search it up. Now, the study, it aimed to focus on population density and its effects on the behavior and societal dynamics of the mice. So, what he did is he put a population of mice into this enclosed environment with unlimited food, unlimited nesting materials, and unlimited water. These mice had nothing to worry about in this environment they were put in. And this was called the Mouse Utopia. And now, at first, the mice showed normal behavior, like grooming each other, forming social groups, eating and whatnot, and they had their own hierarchical structure. All normal behavior in mice. But as time went on, the population grew. The amount of space became more limited. The mice, they became more aggressive, more territorial, and there was a lot of social withdrawal. They weren't as social with one another. It's kind of odd that as the population increased, they became less social with one another. But now, this is the interesting part. They then started to show abnormal behavior, such as self-grooming instead of grooming each other, and they groomed themselves to the point of mutilation. And they also partook in same-sex activities, like homosexuality. And I'm not lying, you can search up the study. It's all there. You may be able to see where this is going, but it gets way worse and way more dark. So what they did next, they took one of these mice. They took a mouse from Mouse Utopia, and at this point in the study, they called the mice from Mouse Utopia socially disintegrated because they were aggressive, territorial, and mutilating themselves, and all the horrible stuff. But what they did, they took one of these mice and put it into a whole different group of normal, healthy mice. The scary thing is that socially disintegrated mouse, its behavior spread onto the healthy mice. The phenomenon was termed behavioral contagion. And now again, I encourage everyone to go and read this study for yourself, because it's wild how many similarities there are with this study and society today. Now, outside of the study, let's imagine for a second that instead of mice, it's people, where some groups of people are very privileged with resources and don't have any big problems that they need to solve or need to deal with. How do you think these people will turn out culturally compared to, let's say, a country that's impoverished or a second world country? I won't answer, and I'll let you decide that one. But after the effects of this phenomenon, if it happens to mirror the effects that it had on the mice in Mouse Utopia, then how could we ever recover as a society? Because the mice in Mouse Utopia, they were self-destructive. They were aggressive to one another. They isolated themselves. If us as humans start doing that, then we're in for a rough show. It's not going to be good. Now, there's a couple different answers to this question. If it does happen to mirror the effects that it had on mice, maybe we could have enforcement to stop self-harming or to stop the aggression to one another. Now, perhaps we could do this, but what morals would these enforcements be implementing? Like, why would it matter if the mice were harming themselves by mutilations or were harming one another? Because who cares, right? Why would it matter? Well, for our scenario as humans, we are not mice. But we could assume that since we have culture and tradition, like we could always go back to what's worked in the past for us, we have wisdom from our forefathers to turn to in the event that everything blows up and everything goes bad. For example, we have ancient texts that point out ways to live properly, or in ways that lead to the best outcome in life, or most ideal outcome in life. In Christianity, we call this being righteous. And for the mice in the Christian lens, we could easily see that there was a lot of sins that these mice were taking part in, if we imagine that these mice were humans for a second. For example, we got sodomy, vanity, violence, self-destructive behavior, lack of empathy, greed, and isolation. But again, as humans, we're smarter than that. We can apply wisdom from our ancestors to steer away from a self-destructive society. So we may think. If we disregard our history and have a hate growing for our traditions and culture, then we run at the risk of the bad history just repeating itself. And obviously we do not want that to happen. And now I encourage people to read history or the Bible, and you could see this play out where societies that fell into practices of evil or were very sinful, so to speak, in the way they behaved, we could see what happened to their societies. For example, even the fall of ancient Rome, as glorious as we hear it was, fell from within by the same issues. As humans, we seek out problems to fix. It's in our nature. But if we don't have any problems to fix, we end up creating problems where there aren't any, just in hopes to fix them. Now, think of the classic Karen at a grocery store, or any store. They make problems, complain to the manager over issues that are pointless. There's no need for all of us. All in hopes that she can just get that satisfaction of solving a problem, even though she created the problem in the first place. And the Mouse Utopia study is to show that privilege and easy access to resources has its effects on us, even though we are mice. And now, in terms of society, I hope you see the correlation I'm trying to make. There's obviously some things I'm not saying because YouTube doesn't like certain words that I say. But if we look at what happened in Mouse Utopia and look at what's happening in society today, you can see so many correlations. And because if you have a group of people that hates history, hates our culture, and is not learning wisdom from our forefathers, they are running at the risk of being self-destructive, just like the mice were. And again, obviously humans aren't mice, but there's too many correlations to the study to just disregard that. And again, search the study for yourself, and you'll see. And with that, I'll end the video. Please don't disregard history and tradition. Don't leave behind the ways that have always worked for us as a society. And with that, take care. Thank you.